Are we live? It still just says upcoming on 2. Oh, I don't know, bro. This is pissing me off. Part of one, it does say we're live though. We're live now? I think we finally are. Far out, man. Finally got there. Like what, half an hour late? Right. Right. Now, let me get everything reset up. Mate, what about them Dockers? Flag Mantle is alive and well. What other games did you watch this weekend? you, you didn't go in the end? Yeah. That's completely fair. Completely fair. I actually, what did I watch? Friday, and then Saturday night, yeah, Sunday, but obviously missed the Saturday games. But welcome to anybody that waited half an hour for us to get this bloody sorted out. Sorry for the technical difficulties. This is our first time doing a bit of a podcasting live. Thought it'd be a good idea to have a bit of a more unfiltered chat. And yeah, get everyone that listens involved. So we asked a couple of questions and stuff on our Facebook and Instagram earlier. So if you don't follow them, you'll see them pop up on the screen. But yeah, give us a follow and we'll answer those questions later. But yeah, Cameron, talk to us. Where do we want to start this week? Should we? There's so much happened, and this is going to be a fun hour of conversation because we got some heated topics to talk about for sure. Why don't we first actually let's suss the ladder out because I actually got first time got this sorted out. Bang! So we both should hopefully come up. Let us know, Cameron, if you can see the ladder or not. You probably can't yet. Righto, mate. So this is changing like crazy every week. Obviously Swans. We'll talk about Swans and Freo. Blues almost. Well, they're going to be probably second favourites for the flag now. Besides Fremantle being number one, is that correct? You do over the Swans? Yeah, I thought about that earlier today. Actually, I did think about that earlier. Your boy's sitting pretty there in third. Bombers. Wow. This always worries me the second half of the year. Yeah, yeah. Geelong, obviously there. Collingwood. It could be a big game Friday night. We might, if both feeling all right, we might go live for that or something like that. It'd be pretty good. And then Power and the Brisbane Lions. How good have they been? I mentioned that the other day. I mean, I know they've been amazing, but the last 6 to 8 weeks to get back into the 8. Yeah, very true. No, that's very true. Very true. Yeah, they did. And you think they'll probably finish top 4 from here. And then that middle of the ladder is just chaotic. Insane. Western Bulldogs, Giants, Gold Coast Suns, Demons, Hawks. Hawks could somehow get in. They're a game out, aren't they? That's incredible. Mate, start us off, as you do every week, with your moment of the round, mate. Yeah, give it to us. Yeah. Yep. Hang on, I've just got a message come through, and apparently they can't hear you now, which is just awesome. This happens to us every time. Thank you, Nikita, for setting that through. This is going to be great. Have you? Yeah, well, some people won't like hearing your voice. All right, we got to try. I got to try and figure this out. Check your mic settings. Okay. Try and talk now, and please, if anyone's listening, let us know if you can hear him. Imagine if we went the entire podcast. We're talking about the ladder, and we missed your moment of the round. Thank you so much for letting us know. That's just an absolute rookie error. Let us know if you can hear Cameron. You can't. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay, where are you? You are collab cam. Okay, I reckon now it'll work.
I hope so.
You're gonna be rookies at this to start with before you get good at it, mate. I reckon we should be able to hear you now.
Hope so.
We'll spend the whole hour trying to figure this out.
Someone has still said no.
Yeah, that might have been before.
Hope so. Yeah, you can hear me now.
Yes, we've done it. We've done it. For some reason, your like connection was on like I can only hear you for some reason, which is just really annoying. I've got to forget that. That's my bad. I'm not going to bother going through it.
All about Russell. Podcast all about Russell.
I've kind of thrown this up last minute to try and figure it out, and yeah, my bad. Okay, start again. What is your moment of the week, mate?
Isaac Rankin, and he is a freak.
Yes.
I know we did a podcast, I'm going to say a couple of years ago with our good friend JB, and you were very, very, I wouldn't say against Isaac Rankin, but you didn't agree that he was worth what the Crows are paying for him, and what they were paying him, which I now believe is unders, because he is arguably the best player on their list, with maybe Jordan Dawson.
Yeah, I'd go as far to probably agreeing with you now. Like, yeah, he absolutely proved me wrong. But I did have doubts to begin with, and I think they probably were fair enough. I think so. But now he's obviously you've seen the level he could get to a lot more before I did, I suppose. You could see it in him where I've seen a bit of selfishness and laziness in his game previously.
But he was young.
Yeah, he was young.
That's the thing. And I mean, I saw what he could do at West Adelaide. And I'd say the same thing about Jason Horne-Francis. When you see someone at a local level, a kid, and they're able to do what they're doing at that level, then when they actually get to the next step, which is AFL, they're always going to be a little bit behind, but they're always going to have moments. And Rankin had those moments, but wasn't obviously consistent.
Yep.
Coming home to the Crows has just set him. Sometimes you just need to come home. I know it sounds stupid, but for some people, it is generally just about being in a different state. And they just need to come home and do what they can do. And he's flowing.
Got to put a poll up for everyone. If anyone's listening, where's the question? I'll ask you this question. Do you think he'll be All-Australian? Or should he be?
Oh, where would you put him? Small forward? In the pocket? Because he's not going to get into the midfield. It's not me being... But I could name 6 midfielders that are better than him this year. Easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Maybe
he'd
on the
be in the forward
bench.
line.
No. Half forward. Wing. No. Wing's probably.
Nah, well, wing will be Golden for sure.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah. That's true, actually.
Um, in the forward line, maybe, possibly.
He
I
could.
mean, are there any other small forwards doing what he's doing?
In terms of. Yeah,
Uh,
no. Definitely not. I mean, who would
Probably
be.
maybe Dylan Moore.
Yeah, who would be your small forward or your half forward, small forward, all Australians? That's
Dylan
pretty.
Moore, Rankin, Warner.
Yep, probably. Who else is there? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Not as like a really.
Caldwell, maybe, but he's been more midfield this year. But
Definitely Caldwell, maybe actually. Um,
so
yeah, there's a few in there. But yeah, he's been unbelievable. I couldn't fit him into my Supercoach side this weekend. Just go on, and I'm absolutely spewing. I missed out on him. I had to get him in this week to field my last forward spot, and I had to go with Dylan Moore because he was cheaper. But Dylan Moore ended up scoring like 130, so it worked out pretty well. But
that's not a bad pickup with either of them. They're both
yeah,
pretty good.
yeah, definitely. Do you think he could be captain material, Isaac Rankin, in longer run?
No, because he's not too far off Jordan Dawson's age. I don't think so.
I forget how
I
young
think
he
they've
is.
got. I'm pretty sure they've got their captain set for the next 10 years.
Yeah, yeah, very true. Very true.
He's an absolute leader, Jordan Dawson. So,
Yeah, he definitely is.
so I don't think so. Maybe he does, but no, I don't think he will. I think Jordan Dawson will be captain for the next 10 years. So,
Yep. Absolutely.
Sorry.
Yeah, he's a freak and a gun player. No, that's right, mate. We're live. We can. I mean, we're not on Twitch, so we can't get pissed and drink. Not that we do that anyway, but
not yet. Anyway,
I'm alcohol free these days. All right, my moment of the week, mate, and also actually, Mappy, who's been with us last couple of weeks, is out for dinner tonight. That's why he's not here, but I'm sure he'll be keen to jump on again soon. My moment of the week is the Suns make a statement against the Pies. So I know they are just win at home and haven't been able to win away, but beating the reigning premier, although they're not playing their best footy at the moment, could be a big win, like in the Gold Coast Suns history. If not one of the biggest they've had. At home, full house, even though it's mostly Collingwood supporters. To get a win like that, and I thought they played pretty good. They weathered the comeback. Collingwood were always going to do that. So yeah, they got some really exciting young players. They also got to win away from home. And you're going to need to do that finals time because they're probably going to finish like 7th or 8th if they somehow get in there, aren't they?
Well, if they only win at home, I don't see him getting in there.
Yeah.
They
I
won't
don't
play
think they
enough
can.
games.
Yeah. Yep.
But with the ladder being as tight it is, this might be all they need. So
yeah, it's so tight,
48,
man.
48 points might get you in. So.
Probably will. Yeah, I'm trying to think. What are they at now? 32. So what do they need? It's like 4 or 5 more wins. I think about 13 wins, isn't it? But percentage has got to be crucial. That's where the Bombers are going to get stuffed up. But we'll get on to them, mate. On to the first little topic we are going to run with this week. It's not that one. Fremantle are contenders. Mate, what a win on the weekend. How huge was that win on Saturday, Arvo? Kicked the first 3-4 of the game and just managed to hold on.
No, it was expected. I said it on the podcast last week. Freo 25 plus, unfortunately. Wasn't Freo 25 plus, but no, it was a great game. I think it's finally starting to click. We still are a young team, so we're still going to have those games like we had against the Bulldogs where it's just shit, unfortunately, which you can't have. But I'm pretty sure if you look at Collingwood last year, I'm sure they had a couple of games where they just stunk up the bed. The year before, Geelong probably didn't really stink up the bed. They were pretty exceptional. So teams tend to, in a premiership push, do have a bit of a struggle. Like Brisbane last year lost games they probably shouldn't have. Like they lost here at Adelaide Oval to Port and Crows last year, but they were grand finalists. So, yeah, it is that. I still think we're a little bit behind Sydney and Carlton, but I saw something when we lost to Sydney, when we got flogged by them off the park. I thought we were actually very competitive. We just didn't kick straight. And obviously it was the day of Cam McCarthy's death. So there was a lot going on. And since the West Coast game, we've been really good. Like we've had maybe one real bad game, and that was against the Bulldogs. The Sydney game, yeah, but I mean, everyone sort of put a line through that one. But since the West Coast game where we got absolutely smashed, we've been really good this year. Like we've had two really bad games, West Coast and Bulldogs, where we just didn't show up. Every other game this year, we've been either competitive or I felt like we've dominated the game. Like Collingwood, they probably just ran out of juice and we ran over the top of them. But again, I felt like we were very good for the majority of that game. We just, when they got the lead, it was a bit of shit, we're not going to chase them down, which turns out we did. We had a couple of lucks go our way with some free kicks and that, but that's football. You get luck, you don't get luck. But then, yeah, it's just a matter of making sure we don't pull out any performances like we pulled out against the Bulldogs in a couple of weeks when we travel. So like when we play Essendon at the G, it's not just a rollover and all right, let's just get back home. Let's actually come out and let's make statements.
Yeah, no, I agree. What did you see differently? Did you see anything differently this week than you had before? Like obviously no Alex Pearce. So I personally didn't watch the game. I was out at local footy. So no Alex Pearce. So how did Luke Ryan play on?
No, we had two rookies.
Oh, so Draper, because I've seen Draper were getting some praise from Kane Corns on Sunday. Yeah,
Draper had an incredible game. Draper, I think, should have still been rising star this week for the role he played.
Yeah.
Obviously, Will Graham's game was pretty exceptional, but not clear. I believe we actually have one of the top three midfields in the comp. And when we're up and going, we're very, very hard to stop. Fife was immense in the last quarter, getting clearances. Our defence held strong. And our forward, we kick straight. Also, like, it's such a different game when you're having 20 shots and you're kicking 12-8 instead of 8-12. Like, it's such a different ball game.
Yeah.
So,
definitely does. I agree about your midfield
and Sydney have been very poor starters, and we just took advantage of it. And for 3 quarters, every time they scored, we answered from a centre clearance goal straight away. We were very good coming out of the middle. And they've said midfielders don't kick goals. Midfielders kick goals that wins premiership if we don't have them. And in the last 2 weeks, our midfielders have stepped up immensely.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, I did notice that. Your midfielders, getting more forward, kicking more goals. I think Fife's probably the only one the last 2 weeks. Did he kick one on the weekend? I know he didn't last week.
No, but he just stopped Heaney.
Yeah. So they sent him to him, basically, almost.
Yeah, Fife played on Heaney all game and showed Heaney how to play football. But not
like a Brownlow medalist, right?
Pretty much, yeah. But not Fife of Fife, not Fife at his brilliant best, but it was he did the role that he had to, and he's had to sacrifice his role for the team, and he was absolutely exceptional, I thought, on Saturday. I still have question marks around him sometimes being in the team, but if we can get that level from him every week, it's going to make Sarong, Brayshaw, and Young's days so much easier.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I actually definitely agree with that. It's got to be a big, huge. Like if you finish top 4, if you guys can somehow finish top 2, get a home qualifying final, like it's there. It's there to be won. I mean, I don't want to give you hopes up too much. But
my hopes are already all over the place, mate. Don't worry.
So we'll
be here. We'll be here next week after we lose to Richmond, and they'll be like, "I told you. Why'd you guys let me get ahead of myself?" So
Oh, I know it's gonna happen. I was almost bit like with Essendon, like we are gonna make finals and be a chance to win a final. I look at the ladder and I'm like, we could be like 13th in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, please no, please no. Yeah, no, awesome for the Dockers and the Dockers fans. Yeah, huge next couple of months coming up for him, and good to see. Yeah, Fife getting a good run at it this year. I think he's only missed like the one game, hasn't he? So
I don't know if he's actually missed a game.
I
He might
reckon
have
he
been
missed
sub.
one, or was he sub once?
Yeah, it was a game
Yeah,
where he was sub, but yeah.
that's it. All right, on to the next topic, mate. I know you can't see these, but I'll tell you what they are. Um, and this is a big one this week. The AFL umpiring issues. Man, this is going to be a long topic and probably going to be a fun one. I'll go first. So I just feel so confused with where some of our rules are at, and I like it's just 1 week or one like moment it's paid, next minute it's not. I know that can happen in any sport, and like AFL is a hard game to umpire to start with, but when I heard some of the explanations for the free kicks, obviously I'm going to talk about the Essendon game because obviously that was the one I was most interested in. But this happens like really every game, and it happened in our favour against the Crows at like start of the year. With just some of the explanations, like Paddy Cripps on AFL 360 last night, I totally agree with what he had to say. He was talking about how he thinks the AFL got it the wrong way around. So the AFL currently has it if you like tackle, but if you pick it up and you get tackled straight away and you get your arm pinned and you just don't try to get rid of it, even though you kind of got no way to get rid of it, it's holding the ball.
That's always been the rule, though. That has always been
It
the rule.
hasn't though.
If you get tackled and you just stare at the umpire like, "What do you want me to do?" He's
Yeah,
going to pay it.
I'm not talking about that scenario. I'm talking about like, okay, Ridley's a prime example. He had zero prior opportunity, could not get rid of the ball, and if he tried to kick it, he's probably going to get his face slammed in the bloody like the St Kilda player happened in the Port game and he ended up getting suspended. Similar to that.
Yes, I understand that with the Ridley one, and it's inconsistent. But my thing is, the tacklers barely get rewarded, Russ.
Yeah, but
There are some times that a really good tackle gets laid that should be holding the ball and it's not paid. And
this is yeah,
that's the prime example of how you should
but
tackle.
well, then what's the point of going for the ball first?
Well, then okay, so then, but it's this thing of it's to everyone's. The rule is interpretation. That's how it is to everyone.
Yeah,
Your interpretation of holding the ball is different to my interpretation of holding the ball.
but how can you run a major sporting code like that
Okay,
based on everyone's interpretation?
so if Ridley gets tackled in that situation and then drops the ball, and the umpire still calls holding the ball or incorrect disposal, are you okay with that decision?
It should be holding the ball, but this is where my part of my next point comes. The AFL has come out and said if he just like drops it, pretends to try handball it, pretends to try kick it, and it just throws out, it's not holding the ball. But in my opinion, that should be holding the ball.
Okay, so what they're saying is he made no attempt to get rid of it.
He
Is what
can't
they're
though.
saying.
He's got one arm pinned, his other arm's got the ball, and he's getting like tackled to
Yeah,
the ground.
I
Like
mean,
it should
you
be a
see,
straight ball up, like quickly. If that
yeah,
was to
no, I'm
happen,
not.
if he tried to like, actually take Stengel on, like pick up the ball and then like within a second and a half, 2 seconds, try to like don't argue him or spin around him, and then gets tackled like that, holding the ball 100%. But he got tackled as he was picking the ball up, and it was a great tackle by Stengel. So like it was a perfect tackle. He didn't like slam into the ground. So like yeah, I understand that side of it, but when that happens and then like 2 minutes later Geelong players are like just dropping the ball in our forward 50. Twice it happened within like a couple of minutes. And then it's just like they're both, in my opinion, should 100% be holding the ball.
See, I've seen those holding the balls, and I agree with the Tom Stewart should have been holding the ball. But that Jack Bowes one is very similar to the Essendon Gold Coast one that you said shouldn't be holding the ball.
I reckon he tackled him more, but yeah, I see where you're coming from.
So, like, in my opinion, there is like that. Then
But then
okay, so
pay it
now
because they
that
paid it against us.
exactly they should. So it's the thing too is like, I mean, I know we're going to differ on the free kicks because we've obviously spoken intently about the deliberate rush behind, which I'm sure we'll get to.
Yeah.
But even watching some of the highlights of that Essendon game, I saw there was a Geelong player that kicked our defence over the top of his player and it rolled out and they paid deliberate. But it shouldn't have been deliberate, if that makes sense.
Nah, that's incorrect. There was one where they didn't, and they should, and I think everyone thought they were going to. But there was one where there was no one, and he kicked it out, and it was.
No, I saw that one, which was that one was correct. No, that one I agree with. That this is my argument with the last touch. If you just have it in, it just eliminates that. It eliminates the whole uproar. Oh, he missed the target and it goes out of bounds. So hit your targets. Don't kick it out of bounds.
And both times they weren't actually looking for targets. They just like threw it on the boot. But
yeah, so I don't know. Like I've watched a few of the highlights and whatnot with that. The Ridley one is very stiff. I'm okay with that being paid in a sense of like I know there's not much option for him to do in that situation, but also he knows if he drops the ball, it's going to be holding the ball.
Well, he didn't.
Because
that's clearly what's happened here.
But he could drop the ball, right?
Yeah, he's allowed to drop the ball. But is that not incorrect disposal? Like,
no, but it's still it's still a free kick. So at what point in that tackle do the umpire go, well, if you drop it, you know you're going to get paid a free kick. So you're going to hold on to it so you don't get paid a free kick. I'm going to pin you here. Why not? Why can't the umpire do that? Because it's a good tackle. Like,
yeah, but you got to reward the guy getting the ball as well. I got to give him.
You do, and nine times out of 10, you do reward the guy getting the ball. I mean, sometimes players get the ball, fend off 6 players, get tackled, and it's ball up still.
I know, but that it should be so clear cut the rule. Like,
it's not clear cut though because it's open to interpretation. It's what you think.
Drop the ball in a tackle, it should be holding the ball.
I disagree with that. Because you don't always drop the ball in the tackle. Sometimes it gets knocked out.
Knocked down and dropping the ball is a bit different. So in that example, if I was going to say the first Geelong one where the tackle kind of knocks the ball out of the player's hand, if we were not to be play on, then be play on. But Tom Stewart threw the ball.
No, I don't argue with the Tom Stewart one. Tom Stewart one was definitely holding the ball. The Bowes one, yeah, but that's where. But you want it to be play on, but you're arguing that it should be holding the ball. So your interpretation is different on the rule, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Already.
I know.
And that's the trouble with the rule. And that's where I know they're saying a whole lot of shit and whatnot, but there's so many rules in the sport. There's so many rules that are so grey. There's so many if, buts, and maybes, and you don't know what is deliberate. You don't know what's not deliberate. You don't know what holding the ball is. You don't know what. You don't even know what a 15-metre kick is these days. Like, did you see the one on Sunday where Rosie kicked it 6.3 metres? Paul got the first goal from it.
Yeah, I did see that.
So, again, I mean, it should be easy to tell a kick that goes 15 metres, but everything else is so open to interpretation, and it's so on the different person's discretion because everyone sees the game differently and everyone sees the rules differently. That I think that we sort of get blinded on how we see the rules. And I'm a sucker for it. You know me. I will admit that I think everything's a free kick to Fremantle and nothing's a free kick to our team. But
yeah, go on.
It's so hard to. I feel sorry for the umpires. I don't really feel sorry for the AFL. I feel sorry for the umpires, but we've got 4 umpires out there, but they're all not on the same wavelength. I think the only way you can make that better is if you make all the umpires full-time. Make them full-time. They're not full-time. They've got 2 jobs. Make them full-time.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Make them full-time. It'd be so much better. It might be better for the game. It might be worse for the game. But I think it'll be better for the game because they'll be more invested into the game.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, mate. That should have been. I I don't know how that's not like that already. But yeah, onto the Menzie one, mate. Once again, I'm okay with it being paid, but pay it every time it happens. Because I see that, and very similar to that, a lot. Like a huge amount. And there was even a one on the Sunday game, bit different, but it was the Port St Kilda game, or St Kilda Port, where Port player got tackled as he was getting picked up. The umpire was behind him, and Ollie Wines was in front of him. So he's just handed as he was getting up in the air, handing the ball to Ollie Wines, and Ollie Wines gave it straight to the umpire. Umpire gave a free kick, obviously, for not giving the ball back to the umpire. I reckon I've seen that 20 times since that Collingwood Fremantle game, and it's not been picked once.
No, it has been. There has been.
I've not seen it.
They've called it a few times. They don't. The trouble is, it gets magnified when it's a goal. That's the difference. So it gets magnified when it's in front of goal. If it's in the middle of the ground and it means nothing, the player kicks it, it gets turned over, and the other team goes down the other end. It gets ignored. No one talks about it. But when it happens in front of goal, it gets magnified. That's the thing with the Freo one. And you watch that Freo game and you watch the build up. How many times Collingwood were doing it? It just sucked that it happened. I mean, I don't think it should have happened because it was a young kid who made a mistake. But again, if they're going to be consistent on it, they pay it. It's in the rule book. There's nothing wrong with the umpire paying it. And the Menzie one, I mean, I said to you straight away, I thought it should have been deliberate when I saw it because where he got the ball, he just kept running. And if he runs straight at it...
It shouldn't matter if the two Geelong players decide to stand back or not. Because really, one of them did to start with, and the other one kept running towards him, and then at the last second pulled back. But
if he just beelines out of bounds, is that deliberate?
But deliberate out of bounds and rush behind are adjudicated two different ways.
But it's deliberate. And the umpires interpreted that as a deliberate rush behind.
But someone has to be... If there's pressure within 9 metres...
But that 9 metres is also a little bit different because you can't just... If you're at the top of the square in a contest, which is just right at the top of the square, and you punch it through, it's deliberate. But you're under pressure. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Look at the one on Sunday. If you do that, Houston just walked over the line once he got the handball. That's more deliberate.
You bet he was already on the line.
He walked backwards.
Yeah, but my difference is it's not my difference with that one is the ball is in the goal square when that happens. Menzie's taken the ball out the goal square and he has not that he should have.
I mean, he's running full pelt backwards, bro.
Not backwards. He's running towards the goals.
That's what I mean. Yeah, backwards.
So he's running in a straight line across the line.
Yeah, but he's sprinting when he gets the ball. He can't stop on a dime, turn around, and there's two blokes in front of him.
Intention there is to get the ball over the line. Is that correct?
Once he realizes he's under pressure, yes. Oh.
So you say that he can't split second think, but he can realize he's under pressure.
Of course, you know where players are around you.
Yeah,
but he's obviously done that thinking he will not get paid a free kick against him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done it.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I reckon you ask him 9 times out of 10, he wouldn't change his mind on that. I reckon 9 times out of 10, he would do that.
That's what I'm saying. In the first quarter, he did something different to that and cost us a goal. So...
we did it again, and it cost you a goal.
Probably wouldn't have, because fucking the umpires don't know what they're doing half the time. I shouldn't blame the umpires. It's not the umpires to a degree. I just don't like the idea of interpretation of too many rules because it's got to piss way too many people off.
And this is the thing. That's why me and Mappy stand pretty firm on one rule that doesn't need interpretation, Russ.
It still does to a slight degree, but yes, I get what you mean.
It doesn't.
You wait until the first time there's a controversial, no one touched it when someone did, so it shouldn't have been a deliberate free kick, and it just... But, yes, it would get rid of 5% of the grey area. Yes. It will. But will the AFL do it? Probably not.
No, no,
Probably
because
not.
it's working too well. It's working too well at the local league. So why would the AFL do something that works well?
Yeah, who knows with them? Who knows? On to the next point, mate. What have we got next? Jordan Boyd is free to play after a long tribunal the other. That was last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Thoughts on that? I reckon he's. Carlton got good lawyers, man, because they get off every time.
they do. A lot of people saying that the Richmond player ducked. Jordan Boyd still doesn't try to pull up. He
Yeah, he
still does
doesn't.
not try to
Agree.
pull up. It is probably lucky for Jordan Boyd that the player has ducked, because if not, he's probably going to get him even higher, and he might get 4 or 5 weeks. So
Yeah. Yep.
I think that, yeah, they have got very good lawyers. But again, to the AFL, just stand firm. Just fuck off these challenges. If you want to be serious about these rules,
Yeah.
go. This is the suspension. Live with it. That's a suspension. Live with it,
Yeah.
and you move on, and you go. Okay, I've got a week. Like what else do you want? Like you can't. I'm sick of this. Oh well, yeah, they should challenge it, because I actually don't think it's a free kick. Well, a high bump. It is. That's the one rule. If the player doesn't if the player doesn't duck for it, and Jordan Boyd gets him even higher, we're sitting here talking about how Jordan Boyd's getting 6 weeks.
Yeah. I agree. Totally agree.
What's the difference? Just because he ducked, he braced for contact. No, he if he ducked, he's put himself in a worse position. So why has he done that on purpose? Jordan Boyd's coming at a head of steam. I don't think he's ducked for that. I
No,
generally don't think he has.
I don't think so either.
I think he's ducked out of another tackle, but I haven't seen the full play. I need to watch the full play for that. But yeah, I just think Carlton are a little bit lucky when it comes to decisions. So,
And I reckon they get hard done by. I mean, that's like 3 or 4 over the last 2 years they've managed to somehow get their players off, which is crazy. Crazy. Also, I reckon I've mentioned this before. I know we just spoke about this, didn't we, earlier? But they are, for me, second favourite for the flag.
First favourite
behind
for me.
the Swans. So first favourite for you, yeah. If they play home finals at the G, especially against interstate teams, G.
I don't see a world where Sydney beat them at the moment.
Really? At all? They beat them by 10 goals
no.
earlier in the year.
In Sydney.
Yeah.
I don't see a world at the moment. Since that game Carlton have turned, I don't see a world where they beat them. Carlton look amazing. Sydney are not falling away, but they're a little bit stagnant at the moment. Sydney, they're very slow to start too, and I think if you let Carlton get a jump on you, you're gone.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Carlton are exceptional. I hate saying it, but they're very, very good at the moment.
But they might have to. Oh, it depends. Yeah, it depends where they finish up on the ladder. They might have to end up playing Sydney, like a prelim in Sydney, and I mean, who knows?
No, I think that's the top 2.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree.
They're going to have to play the Purple Army at the G, and we'll roll them in the first week of the qualifying finals. Watch this.
That will be good. That will be. Imagine that. Imagine that.
I don't want to imagine it. My life's a whole lot easier. My life's a whole lot easier if we don't make the grand final or make the finals.
Yeah, well, I'm used to it every year. I don't have to worry about getting too nervous in September. I'm looking at who we're drafted and who we're going to recruit, and then none of it ends up happening. I was going to mention something. I've totally forgotten what I was talking about now. But it's going to be. I think I know Swans are favourites, but you look at it and people reckon there's like only 4 or 5 teams that could win the flag. I still reckon really a good 9 or 10 teams could probably somehow find a way to make it granny if they just get on a roll.
I don't.
You don't? So who are you ruling out?
I know you're going to hate it. I'm ruling you guys out.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I would say
I'm
the same.
I'm ruling Port out.
Okay. Yep.
I'm ruling Port out, and I'm I'm rolling the Giants out now.
Yeah, they've been average, haven't they?
And yeah, that's probably just that's the only 2 in the 8, I think, isn't it? GWS in the 8 still. I think or
Geelong?
they're just missing out. I'm 50-50 on Geelong, because I believe their best is very good, with the experience they've got when it comes to the finals. But it depends where they have to play. If they have to play away, I just don't know if they will do all right, especially against a young team. Like if they say have to travel to the MCG in the second week to play Carlton, or I say travel to the MCG, or travel to Perth in the second week to play Freo, or travel to Sydney in the second week to play Sydney, I just think they get played off the park by all 3 of those teams at the moment. I mean, I could eat my words in 2 weeks' time, Freo out of the 8. So,
It's so hard to know, to be honest, really. It is.
but yeah, I just think I just think home ground advantage is going to make a huge impact this year. And the only team that I'm not sold on at home right of now, because the last few times they played at home, is Sydney, because they've been very sloppy to start. And in a final, you can't give a team a head start.
Yeah.
But also, are Sydney now just going through the motions and just ticking along till they get to the finals? I'm not sure that's the way you want to be, but sometimes, and they shouldn't be tiring. They had the best break of all.
They had 2 buys before people had 1. So, I mean, unless they're trying to reset to be really firing the last 3-4 rounds of the year, but there have been slow starters recently. So, wide open, mate, wide open. And I agree about us. I don't think, as in Essendon, I don't think we can make finals, absolutely, but whether we can go further than that, I'd rather not make finals than lose another one. So,
but could be here, mate. Could be here against Port.
Could be, and that
or
worries
you could
me.
be travelling to Perth to play Freo.
Yeah, it could be anyway. It could be against the Lions at the Gabba. Far out. I hope we play here or play in Melbourne. First, like Geelong at the G, that'll be the perfect game because we'll probably get most of the fans.
I had that. Yeah, most of the fans. You didn't get many fans this time.
It was their home ground, and it was pissing down with rain, to be fair.
Too big to play at GMHBA Stadium is what I'm reading on Twitter, but can only get 54,000. So
only 54.
No, I don't know. It must be might be the 5th biggest club in Melbourne now, falling away.
Would this weekend's game sold out? That'll be good.
It's Collingwood home game, isn't it?
It is Collingwood home game, to be fair. So all of their games are already sold out. On to the next point, mate. We've got a couple left here. We got one left, or maybe 2 left, and then we've got a couple of questions from the socials this week, which would be good. The last one, mate. I know we've done that one. Where are we at here? I reckon we've done that one too. This is something that's started to become spoken about a bit the last 24 hours is Dustin Martin to the Suns. Do you reckon it's going to happen?
It's been spoken about for the last 24 months.
But it's really ramped up like the last 24, 48 hours.
Depends what Dusty wants to do, I guess. I'm not going to put it on anyone else but Dusty. Like, it's not a Richmond decision. It's not a Gold Coast decision. It's a Dusty decision, isn't it? And you probably won't never hear it. You probably won't even see it go through the media. And next thing you know, he's just wearing a Gold Coast Guernsey playing for him in round 1 next year. Because he doesn't talk. So
he doesn't like it, does he?
I mean, it'd be nice for him to retire as a Tiger. But if he thinks he's got more years left in his body, who are we to say that he doesn't?
Yeah.
I just do hope for his sake, if he were to go up there, it's a good story. It's not a go up there, play 3 games, and then his career's over. So,
yeah. No, that, yeah. You don't want that, do you? You hope if something I read today that, I mean, it's all probably bullshit that people were saying anyway, but if he moves up there or plays up there, he's just got to play like mostly home games or something like that.
It wouldn't surprise me. So they do that with people. They do that with stars. And funny. I remember Pav's final year, I don't think he travelled once. Might have come home to SA. That's about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But yeah, it's I've lost track now. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Dusty. Yeah, and playing home games. Yeah, I mean, as you said, he's not young anymore, is he? So,
no,
if he's just kind of got to play 10 to 12 games a year and hopefully a finals, like I'm sure if it was a finals game or something like that, he would travel, obviously.
yeah,
But
yeah,
be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, I don't think you can be mad as a Tiger fan if he leaves for everything that he's done for the club and how successful
no,
they've been with him there. And it's like they're in a rebuilding phase anyway, so it's not like you're going to win another premiership with him.
no.
But yeah, anything before we go to the social questions, mate? Anything else you want to bring up from this week? Have you got a beef or anything like that? No quizzes?
Nah, no beef. I mean, we've discussed the AFL umpires. So, I think it's a little bit stupid of Andrew Dillon to say that it's in a good space.
Yeah. That's actually one of the social media questions. Yeah.
And my other, it's a little bit of a beef, but Mark Robertson
Yep.
coming out and defending the umpires, but is very happy to say that Cody Waitman stages for free kicks.
I'll watch that AFL 360.
That's a free kick off the ball. I don't give a fuck what everyone thinks. Don't tell me that
standing up for him too.
Don't tell me Cody. Yes, there's times Cody Waitman plays for free kicks, but what players don't? But don't tell me Cody Waitman, 80 meters the ball, has decided to duck his head underneath Archer's arm. Okay, maybe he exaggerates it a little bit, but what do you want him to do in that situation? Like, Archer's got his arm around his neck, and then for Robbo to say, "Oh, I don't think there's much in it," you're an idiot. And then you come out and say that the umpires are doing the wrong thing, but they do the right thing, and you belittle them for it. So
yeah,
it just frustrates me. And this is the thing with it, is the umpires, when they do the right thing, we argue it. Oh, they did the right decision, but they shouldn't be paying that in the context of the game. But they do the right thing. And then when they don't do the right thing, we just want to absolutely scream down their throats and say, you guys suck. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. So
true.
it's just very frustrating that, yeah, he's got this agenda with AFL umpires, but when the decision is actually correct, he will say that players are playing for free kicks.
Oh, I totally agree. It was a free kick, 100%. He did exaggerate the contact, but he got wrapped around the head. There's no doubt about it. So, Free kick every day of the week. I totally agree. And I've seen that on 360. And good on Bevo for standing up for Cody Waitman. I've been critical of him diving for free kicks. I don't think that was one of them, to be honest. So,
no.
Yeah.
He definitely dives for free kicks. He definitely has dove for free kicks. But also, if you're going to get him, why aren't you going to do it?
100%.
Like, why aren't you? Even
though it pisses me off, but yeah.
There was never a gun on him like there was on Jack Ginnivan. So it's one of those things. If there was a gun on him, I don't think he'd get half the free kicks. So it just happened that Ginnivan was playing for Collingwood, who I think is a bit more in the spotlight than the Bulldogs.
Yeah. No, that's probably, that's a great point. He got like 4 free kicks in an elimination final against us, like Essendon a few years ago. And that's where my dislike for him started. But like him or dislike him, if there's a free kick there, even if like he's just got to pay it. Simple as that. So no, I agree with you. On to our, I want to say fan questions, but they're more just mate questions.
Viewer questions.
Yeah. First one here is from a good mate, Jai Emmett, who I've known for many years now. Played footy with him as a junior. Is Kane Corns calling out Darcy Moore a fair point or not? What do you reckon?
Yes and no.
Sit on the fence.
No, it's hard because I don't think Darcy Moore's at his absolute best at the moment.
Yes. Yep.
Also, Darcy Moore has ruptured 2 ribs in the last fortnight with his knees going up in the air. So,
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Witt's on the weekend and Petrarca now. I don't know. Well, I mean, he's still the leader and he still leads very well out there. But also, I do agree that everyone talks about how good of a defender he is, but he's never on the best defender. best forward.
Yeah, that's very true.
He's a better defender than Billy Frampton. Why is he not on Ben King? And I agree with those comments. So, it's like I kind of look at it as, if they're playing it this week, who would he be lined up on, do you think?
He'll probably have to end up on. Well, Frampton will go to Peter Wright.
Peter Wright your best forward?
I mean, probably not, but Darcy Moore would go to someone like a Langford, I'd say, unless they send is Jeremy Howe playing? Yeah, he's not injured, is he?
I think he's swing. He'll swing.
Yeah. We might go tall this week because we might play Caddy. Jones has been playing on the wing.
Yep.
And you got Stringer, but Stringer's been playing a bit more midfield. So,
you're gonna go 2 ruckman again?
I don't know. That was we almost lost that game at selection. I thought playing 2 ruckmen in the rain, bit silly, but
do you drop Goldstein or do you drop Draper?
Probably Goldstein. I just don't think Sam Draper doesn't work as a forward. Like, we can't rest one of them up forward. He's a bit more of
a threat going forward, though, isn't he?
What's that?
Like, Draper's more of a threat going forward, though, than Goldstein, isn't he? Like, if you had to, let's just say he needed a little break to pinch hit around the ground, so they sent Peter right up the ground, you could bring Draper back. He's more of a threat forward, isn't he?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, he doesn't know how to take a mark, but even though somehow he took a specky a couple of years ago.
His arms get chopped when he goes for it, so...
Yeah, I know. That's just an umpiring mistake. We won't argue. I don't think we need to argue about that one.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's I think he probably ends up... Well, he's a number one. Oh, Goldstein's like 60 years old, so even though he's been pretty good.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, Collingwood was still in at the Gold Coast yesterday or Monday.
They were still training though. They were doing light sessions. Yeah, they were doing light sessions. Look, are we going to question Craig McRae? Like, are we really going to question what he's doing?
No, absolutely not. No.
Like, just if they come back and they lose, you go, okay, we made a mistake.
Yeah, it just
they come back and win and goes.
Yeah, I know. It raised my eyebrows. Like, oh, okay. Are they going to be?
They were doing.
I shouldn't say. They're going to be off the ball and they're going to come out and beat us by fucking 15 goals.
For every point they win by, Russ will run a kilometre. All right, guys. So,
oh no! If we lose by 5 goals plus, I will wear a Crows Guernsey next live stream. If we do a live stream Friday night.
If you lose by 5 goals plus.
Yeah.
Okay, clip that. Absolutely clip that, please, guys. Absolutely clip that.
Oh, I love it. On to, mate, we've got 2 more questions to finish. What's that?
If we lose to Richmond at all, I will wear a Port Guernsey on a live stream.
Oh, come on the time.
And I'll post a photo of me in social media. And I'll make sure it's the prison bar one.
Oh yes, God. I love the prison bar. Better than their normal one.
That's how confident I am. So,
yeah, to be honest, you're at home, surely. Because you played away.
If we lose the Tigers, I'm not doing this podcast ever again. And I'm not live streaming ever again. Just fucking not wearing a Port gear.
Yeah. It's good, mate. Prison bar's the best Guernsey in football. Mate, 2 more questions to go. This one is from Sandra, the mum. There you go, mum. Do you agree with Andrew Dillon's comments about umpires? I say they have been terrible.
It's not about Hinkley this time.
No. No. Although we did argue about that on Sunday. All 3 of us in the house.
They have been terrible. Yes. I think there's been a lot more mistakes. But I also think that the game's getting harder and harder to umpire. So I know I'll probably come to their defense a bit on here, which is probably what it is. So I just think he's an idiot for thinking that we think that they're doing a good job. And I think he's so far away from the fans that it's silly.
Yeah, I agree.
That, that he thinks that he knows what's going on and what's not going on. So, I don't know. It's a bit of a fugazi one for me that I don't. It's dumb comments. It's just poorly managed. Those comments are. It's a poor time to have those comments after what happened on the weekend.
Yeah.
And like we didn't even touch on the New Bull and deliberate, which he got legged as he went out of bounds, but the umpire missed that. So
yeah, that's very true.
like, not saying that wins Brisbane the game, but that decision, he
You
got
mean
legged as he
Melbourne?
went out of bounds. Yeah, sorry, not saying it wins Melbourne the game, but he was legged and then fell out. And you're telling me that getting tripped doesn't change your momentum out of bounds, but there's no uproar from it because the correct call was made because it looked deliberate. But again, the umpire didn't see the legging, so this is the thing we have when we slow stuff down. We can see everything to a T, and we argue every decision. So,
Yeah.
but he is a dimwit, Andrew Dillon, and I just don't think. I don't know. I fear for the competition in the next couple of years
Yeah, so
if
do
we're
I,
going to
mate.
have these type of comments, and then they're not going to do anything about it, and they're just going to keep changing the rules and keep changing every little rule, and then us as fans get frustrated at the umpires. So, like, because we're taking our anger out on the umpires. We're not taking our anger out on the
Yeah.
AFL. We're getting angry at the umpires during the game because they're umpiring the way that they think they should be umpiring because it's open to your interpretation, which is fine. But then make it so they're, as I've said before, make them full time so they're more in the loop and they know what's going on. I reckon the umpires find out the rules last. That's what I reckon.
They probably
I reckon
do.
they get told 15 minutes before the bounce, hey, we're gonna crack down on 50 meters this week if they're in the protected zone. Or hey, we're gonna crack down on holding the balls this week. Or like this week, you watch your arm chops, get caught every week, get caught every day. Every game there'll be
Oh,
so
they
many
will.
arm
It'll
chops
be an
called.
overcorrection. Yeah.
Yep. And
Yeah.
and there'll probably be 5 or 6 deliberates that we'll argue the point with for behinds this week, I reckon.
It probably will. I'm going to be throwing my arms up at every single one now. Like, what?
Yeah.
I totally agree with it. His comments stupid, man. Like, does he actually think AFL watchers are that delusional? Like, we've only spoken about it all week on like every footy show, and he goes out and I know he's probably trying to protect the umpires, but say like, look, we've tinkered with the rules. There's a bit of teething issues here, but the umpires are really doing a good job and the best they can. They need to be like umpires best as it's ever been, like in this game. And it's like, no, dude, like what fucking game are you watching? Are you even watching footy? But yeah, crazy stuff. On to the last point, mate. The last one we got here. Hopefully I clicked the right button. Yes, from Elol Shane 95. I wonder who that is. And he's written, "Are pork cooked?" You reckon they are?
They've been cooked since 2005, mate. Cooked. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think that win just sugarcoats it. And I mean, I still, as I've come out and said, and it's really jarring me, all these supporters coming out and saying, oh, those words from Hinkley when a week ago you were booing him. It grinds my fucking gears. Don't sit there and go, oh, those words are so well done, so well said by him. No, you booed him when he at your home ground when you were losing, and the next week, yep, that's the man we want for the job. Shut the fuck up, please. Like, it just frustrates me. It infuriates me that this whole persona is, boo, boo, boo when we're losing. But when you see him like that, oh, nah, yeah, like, he really loves the club. He really wants to be there. What is it? What is it?
It's
just so fucking annoying.
I totally agree. But I'll try and explain to you my feelings watching it. Do I think Hinkley is the right man for the job going forward? I don't think so. But it was hard for me to sit there and like watch him get emotional. Like, I think you can feel for him. Like I feel for him at the same time, and then while still thinking he's not the right man for the job. Like I know what you're saying. Where some people were bagging him last week, and now like loving him this week. I still think he's the right man for the job, but seeing him get upset was I mean, it shows he cares. Like it does show he cares about the club and the team at the
Yeah,
end of the day. And that's why I got an argument with my dad because he come in like, oh look, he's crying, what a sook, blah blah blah. You can imagine what my dad was like, and we got in a bit of an argument about it. It's like he's allowed to show emotion, like it shows
probably
he
said the same
cares.
things I said. I think it's
Well,
staged. I think it's staged.
well, that's
It's
mum.
all staged.
Mum's conspiracy theorist queen. She is. Everything's a conspiracy theory to her. But
Yeah. I mean, I know where it starts, and I think they're in the same bit of problem as the Crows. I don't necessarily think the coach is the problem. I think there's a lot more going on above board, but they've had 10 years with it, whereas the Crows have only had like 4 years with Nicks. So it's like a little bit of a, you know,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
you can see there with Nicks that it could go somewhere with the way he coaches, but also the board is fucking stupid at the Crows, and with Port it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same.
yeah, yeah. No, I totally agree. Yeah, yeah. It's got to be interesting going forward with those two clubs the rest of the year and what happens. And if you had to put one like money on, not that we don't condone betting here, but what money on one, or who's your first coach, should I say, to be sacked this year or let go, if there is any? Who would your money
Still
be on?
Justin Longmuir. Still Justin Longmuir for Fremantle.
I rate that.
Well, I mean, I'm still thinking it'll be Adam Simpson, but
Yes. Yep. Yep. Yeah.
but that's not. I don't think it's sacked or let go. I think that's just him deciding that he's going to leave. If
You
that
reckon he'll
makes sense,
just
because
decide to give it up?
I think he will just say, yeah, he's done all he can right now. They need a fresh start. The trouble is, he's not going to be the next coach that takes him to the promised land. And they looked horrible on the weekend.
Oh, they looked so bad.
Shit.
Yep.
They haven't looked that bad for a long time. So, yeah. Other than that,
Simpson. I reckon that's a good shout. I'd go him. That's something I was going to actually. Go on,
lot
mate.
of coaches that are. There's not many that are. Maybe Goody
Yeah, I thought about Goody.
for Melbourne. He's maybe in the gun.
Yep.
But then again, like Hinkley's in the gun, Goody's in the gun. Ross is probably in the gun, but they won't get rid of him.
Yeah. Yep.
Other than that, yeah, there's not. I mean, they're not going to get rid of Clarkson.
No.
Richmond's not going to get rid of Uze. He's first year.
Yep.
So yeah,
Simo.
maybe Goody.
Yeah, Goody and Simo.
Goody, Justin Longmuir, Hinkley.
Yep.
Matthew
Nicks will stay. I'm pretty confident Nicks will stay. So
I think Hinkley will go at the end of the year too. Because I don't think getting someone in for an intern will fix the problems at Port.
No.
I think it needs to be a complete overhaul.
Yep. I totally agree, mate. Josh Carr, I'd rather them do a full process of finding a new coach than just being like, Josh Carr's the man. Yeah, I have it.
Josh Carr stinks.
Wow, he's assistant coach, and he's obviously must be doing majority of the coaching upstairs, because Hinkley just sits there on the boundary line, doesn't really do much other than like talk to the players, confront the players, but that seems to be about it.
There was this big theory that Josh Carr was the right man because when he left Freo, he was our midfield coach. And in 2022, we made the finals and our midfield was really good. And then when he left Freo, our midfield wasn't as great, but also we were pretty average last year, all across the board.
Yeah.
And then this year, our midfield is arguably top three in the comp. But people still put Port's midfield above Freo's midfield, which I just don't get. I get with the names, but I don't get that defensively our midfielders are better than Port's. And attacking, there's not much different in it. There's not much different in it.
I would say Port's midfield is more flashy, But yes, Fremantle's midfield a lot better at like tackling, defending, and they have a better ruckman too.
If you're a coach right now, and you had Port's midfield and Freya's midfield in front of you, and you had to pick one to have for the next 10 years, Butters, Francis, Rosie, Sarong, Brayshaw, Young, with Luke Jackson in the ruck and Jordan Sweet in the ruck because they're the two younger ruckmans. Which team are you picking?
What swings it for me is the ruckman.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I think you put Luke Jackson in Port team, and I bet you they go up a notch or two as well. Port don't really have a good ruckman, like a really, really good ruckman. Like Sweet and that, like a okay. But how many goals did Marshall kick on the weekend? 4.
Yeah,
how
but that's because Ross Lyon rested him down on the forward line.
Yeah, but Oscar McInerney kicked like 3 or 4 on Sweet the week before as well. So
yeah,
that's something to watch out for. But yeah. Anything else? We might as well wrap it up, mate. We've already been going an hour. Is there anything else you want to... Oh, Sandra. Also, some of the Port players need to lift their game. Buckley is a no-go for the coaching position.
Who said that? Sandra. Buckley a no-go for the coaching position.
I think as in he won't do it.
Ah, well, if he's available, they throw the kitchen sink at him.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think he wants to coach again.
If Buckley says, I'll coach, you just throw the kitchen sink at him. You give him a house in Port Adelaide. You give him a car. You give him a McDonald's franchise. You give him everything. Like,
give him an MG.
Get him over. Yeah. You throw the kitchen sink at him.
Yeah, I agree.
They're good to drive.
You driven one?
Yeah, they're good to drive, mate. Very nice.
Absolutely. Hopefully our last 10 years, we get old MGs. Yeah, anything else before we wrap up?
Just that the double blues are flying.
Oh, double blues. Another win on the weekend.
Another big win on the weekend. Cemented ourselves in the top 2 right now.
Who'd you play, Port?
No, played West. So it was a nice win there. Probably looking like we're going to be versing at this rate if it keeps going. Declan Hamilton's team in a grand final. So
no. No. I've thrown out my Norwood scarf, so
I definitely will not associate myself with Norwood at all that week.
Go Sturt. I want another one of them. What year was that?
2017. Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna have to find that clip.
I'm telling you, that fortnight could be massive if Fremantle will actually do something this year.
Oh, mate, stop. Don't get ahead of yourself.
Go then.
Oh,
come on.
Dockers in the Sturt. Be stirred into the Dockers because prelim final week is Sanford Grand Final, isn't it?
So if you see the prelim final and Freo won and cemented themselves in a grand final, and Sturt are playing in the grand final on the Sunday, send a search party for Big Red because
far out.
He's gonna be big Red. That's how big he's gonna be. That
no party at yours then, grand final day.
Oh, there might be if I can't get tickets. There could be. Be a whole week of just up and at 'em.
Oh, be our own Mad Monday, just for watching.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Let's wrap it up there. Thanks to everybody that has tuned in. Apologies for the stuff around at the beginning for like 10 minutes where you could just hear me and then all the mess around. I know what to do next time. So, please like and subscribe. Like the video, it helps heaps. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We might be live Friday. We'll figure it out yet. But we'll let you know on our socials that you can follow. Just there, our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I think we're going to try and do some YouTube videos together soon. Hey, mate, do some reaction videos and stuff like that. Would be pretty cool.
That's the plan.
Yeah, we'll find some cool stuff to react to, and that would be good fun, I reckon. So, everybody have an awesome week. Thanks for tuning in, and